Welcome, friends, to the Soul Talk podcast, a show where we explore and uncover the path to the heart, amplifying your conscience. Join me as we meet incredible souls who are in this journey and learn from their experience and different methods that will make you vibrate your heart. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. This is Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and thank you for being here in Soul Talk. And today we have Anick Patry, and let me tell you a little bit about who she is, because it's very interesting what she's doing. Anick Patry is a soul-tuned guide helping conscious leaders and rediscover their own voice and finding their own soul purpose. Anick leads the Voice Alchemist Academy, a movement where the voices rise, heart aligns, and just become embodied. Anick Patry is the founder of the Voice Alchemist, like I mentioned, and she's also a holistic mentor, international bestseller author, and she's a TEDx speaker and a retreat facilitator. Annie, thank you so much for being here in Soul Talk. I really appreciate you accepting our invitation.
Oh my gosh, it's my joy, Monica. It's such a joy to be having this conversation together today, and thank you for the beautiful introduction. I received that. It's lovely to hear it, from someone else. It's just gorgeous. So thank you for having me on your podcast.
Thank you. Annie, tell us a little bit about what it is the Voice Alchemist. It sounds very, very interesting. So what do you mean with that? What do you do there?
Okay. Well, we all have a voice, and especially women, we had our voice suppressed, dismissed, and we haven't been programmed and conditioned to be free with our voices, to scream, to laugh, to speak our truth, to express our feelings, our emotions, and to express our desires, what excites us, what juices you up. And we haven't learned to say our true freaking yeses and our true no, thank you. No. So our voices have been very limited, suppressed. There's no curriculum or courses at school, as far as I know, where you can learn to embody your voice, to trust your voice, to connect your voice to your heart, to your body, and to own your voice as one of your biggest tool and asset that you have to create whatever you want in the world, because your voice is the portal, is the vortex to your soul.
Yes, I totally agree. And unfortunately, the majority of human beings will be programmed to be people pleasers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Males and females, but you're right. The majority of the women are the ones that they are more programmed to be people pleasers and searching for that acceptance and that of the human beings. So they are not going to speak their truth the majority of the times. So how do you work with them?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm my first best client. So as you know, Monica, it's evolution, and it's really starting by making a decision. Anything in life that we create and we experience comes from, number one, a choice. And a choice that is made from the monkey mind, from fears, from limitations, from the past, is not going to be an empowered, loving choices. It's not going to be a good choice. So the practice, the first practice is really to practice to make good choices coming from your own sacred heart. your big booming heart, or your soul, or your intuition, which is all connected. To me, your heart, your soul, your intuition, it's the same thing.
I do agree with that. But something that it is coming to right now into my awareness is that many times we are so programmed because we have so many fears, the majority of the human beings. And that we're not going to be accepted, or we're not going to be loved, or we're going to lose the friends, or we're going to lose the husband, or the kids, or whatever it is. Or it comes the competition at the same time with others, and that's where we get lost, the majority of the human beings. So, do you work with with the shadow work with your clients? Because it's about to speak up. It is to also knowing who you are or what you want. Because if you don't know it, how you're gonna get anywhere?
Yeah, I hear you there. It's so true. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the shadows. I mean, we need to find out what is the main part of you that is running the show in the background, in the subconscious, So we need to become aware of who's running the show in the background in your nervous system, in your subconscious mind. Is that the perfectionist? Is that the people pleaser? Is that the prostitute who settle manipulative? I mean, we all have these archetypes. I love archetypes work. It's really powerful to know your type of voice and the type of, archetypes really powerful. So yeah, I've got a whole bunch of powerful tools. I've created a modality, voice tapping, and I think asking powerful, potent questions is really, really, really powerful to get to the core of what's really going on. The shadows. So yeah, we need to bring the shadows to the surface, and we need to embrace it. We need to be friends with our fears and with the shadows, because they're not running away. They won't disappear. But you can become in charge of becoming the driver of your life.
Yes.
The leader is inside of you, is the wise, ancient wisdom that lives in your bones, in your soul, we have this sovereign, divine, super consciousness that lives inside of us.
Yes.
So my work is also to practice to access that wisdom, which is underneath all the conditioning, the programming, the fears, the limitations, the limiting beliefs, the shadows, under the subconscious, in the heart, inside your beautiful, big, booming heart.
This is taking me to something that I talk a lot with my students too, that it is about the vulnerability. I remember when I started this part of the business in a way, because as if you're a coach or a healer or a psychic or whatever it is, and you're in this, one of the first things that they tell you in all the business, the classes that you can take, is that you have to talk about it publicly. You have to be vulnerable. And that part, it was the hardest part. But I find out, teaching, working with people in shadow work, that the females, we can have that courage in a way to talk about our vulnerable parts. But for the males, that's where they get stuck. It's very hard for them to actually talk about emotions. How do they feel? Be vulnerable about those emotions. So do you work with men and women, or only one of them?
both. I mean, it's generally, as you said, you're very right there. It's more often that we see women in the field of personal development, spirituality, transformational work. There's more women, but there are some amazing conscious leaders, men. Like I've got exquisite friends and colleagues and a couple of clients at the moment I'm working with. They're amazing men, empathic, sensitive, connected to their feminine part, their yin, their yang, their masculine part, their feminine part, very self-aware, because I work with people who are at a certain level on their development, on their spiritual path, on their consciousness evolution. So, you know, yes, some men are amazing. They're really connected to their own heart and self-aware. And so I love working with them. Actually, I really love, because I do, with, you know, you and me, we all have this masculine side of us and this feminine part of us. So embracing both, being friends with both, knowing those two energies and evolving with them is such an art, and it's so important because the feminine receives and the masculine take action. So as we are in business, we are on a mission, we are on a soul purpose, we need to have these two parts operating, you know, equally.
But the vulnerable part, how much it is too much information? To what point it is being vulnerable? Because I imagine you're a TEDx speaker. So we have to put ourselves, and I have spoken in different stages myself. So to what point it is too much information? Or because you don't want the people to feel pity for you or feel sorry for you. So to what point do you have to stop that vulnerability? You have to have a stop on certain parts, or to what point it is too much?
That's an interesting question. I guess everything we choose to share is, you know, when it's intentional, when we have a clear intention on why we're sharing a story, you know, what is the goal, the intention behind sharing that story, a vulnerable story, and being really courageous, because it requires a lot of courage to share our experiences and our stories. But that's how humans learn. We learn through stories. We learn through experiences. We grow, evolve, and learn through our own stories, our own experiences, and sometimes from other people. We learn from other people's stories, and we learn not to do the same thing. Or we learn that if something works, we go in that direction. That's working for them. It might be working for me. Oh, that didn't work for them. That caused them a lot of grief and a lot of pain. So I'm not going to repeat that. I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? So I guess it's, to answer your question really deep inside, again, it's tapping into our inner wisdom, inner heart, and practicing discernment. It's a practice to discern as opposed to evaluate and judge in the left brain, but to go more in the right creative brain and to tune into our heart, our wisdom, our superconsciousness, our deep inner knowing, our intuition, and to know how far you want to take people and how, the purpose of it is if you want to lead them to buy your product to a sale, or if you want them to, you know, purchase your book. I've written a book in 2020, Visionary. You know, it depends where you want to lead people, because you're the leader, the one who shares their vulnerability, the one who shares, you know, courageously their wisdom, their stories. We're leading people. So where do you want to lead them? So having the clarity of that is very, very important. And being intentional.
That's back to the part that it is basically what do you want? That's something that we were talking earlier. So something that one of the points that you marked me here, what you sent me, it is giving yourself permission to be you and be happy. That part that is the goal for everybody. But I find that for the person, when I tell you have permission to be happy, it's like, okay, who's going to give me the permission? They're still looking for that permission. And it is like, okay, here's a sleep. Like, even Bashar talks about the permission sleeps. But not everybody gets that understanding that what is those permissions and how they can obtain those permissions without asking to the dead parents for that permission to be happy and be them.
Yeah. I mean, it's totally, as you just expressed, Monica, it's about giving ourselves permission to be, do, and have what our soul is craving, what our heart is desiring. To give ourselves permission to tune into our desires. Because our desires, this is what it's calling us to be on a podcast today, to share some wisdom, to have this conversation. Our sexual energy, I would say, our desires is like, wow, it's like an animal going in the wild with my leopard, going to, oh, I'm hungry for life. I'm hungry to eat a beast. Like, you know what I mean? It's tuning into our desires and giving ourselves permission to go after these desires.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's really that sort of life force energy that's like, go in that direction. Go for it. I want it so much that I'm going to climb the Himalaya, even though it's going to be challenging. I'm going to get a Sherpa, I'm going to get a guide, and I'm going to learn how to climb this mountain and how to breathe better and how to, do you know what I mean? Step by step by step. But you decide that you're going to go on the top of the hill and you're going to get the tools and the people that you need to help you evolve and grow and expand and go after your desires.
That is so true. The permissions to be you, it is where many people at the same time can get confused because they're trying, they were programmed to be someone else. So they need to find who they are. So like that they can flourish as themselves, not as a copy of someone else. And that part is the one that for many of our viewers that are seeing right now, that probably they're asking that question to themselves, how do I find myself? How do I give permission to be me if I don't even know who am I?
Yeah, I so can relate. I mean, all of us, it's a journey. It's work in progress. It's constantly tuning in, giving ourselves permissions, because it's about an identity that's been sort of transmitted, given to us from a very young age. We adopt these beliefs and we model our parents or our primary caretakers, and we develop an identity and we can get stuck in that very small, limited identity. So the transformational work is really about shifting identity and, as you said, discovering who you are. We all in discovering who we truly are. And how we discover who we are is in courageously taking actions, taking one step after the other, you become who you are. For example, with the Warrior of Love, Soul Talk, the podcast that you are hosting. It's the new version of yourself. Monica Ramirez is now a podcast host. But before you had your podcast, you didn't have that identity. But then you had the desire, you had the passion, you had the calling, you had the idea, and you followed through. And now you've got a new identity, you've got a new coat, you've got a new dress on, a new skin.
Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love. And you have been feeling stuck where you are right now. Or if you have felt that you cannot connect with others in the same language or the same emotions that you are feeling. If you're a coach, a healer, energy worker, in any of those branches, maybe this is for you. Because we have felt a disconnection from the rest of our family, friends, that we cannot connect to them. And we're so afraid to actually go deep dive when we're getting triggered by our own planet. Because we're seeing our mirror image with them. My name is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and that's my spiritual name. And I take clients from feeling confused and feeling stuck to feel free, to feel that they feel empowered from themselves. I created a system path to the heart that goes in 3 levels. And the first level, it is healing the inner child, healing the parts of us that we've been so afraid or it's very painful to do it. I have done it myself, not only with me, I have done it with many of my clients, that I take them to this process. The second level, it is to go more into inner self, clearing the family lineage, to breaking the contracts and vows, learning deeper more about the laws of the universe. And the third level, it is learning how to channel, how to do, waking up and getting online your gifts, unique gifts that the world so much needs right now. So, if you wanted to know more about this, I am eager to show you and to teach you all what I know that I use every day in my life. So, thank you for being here in this stage. I really appreciate it. And this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love. Just because when we're discovering ourselves, even if we think we know who we are, there's layers and layers that we're discovering. We don't know how much courage we can have, how much we really want to do something. Like, I always wanted to be a public speaker until finally one day I did it, but I was too ashamed or too shy to actually go, and then I actually did it in Harvard. And I was like, oh my God, when I got in Harvard, my legs, of course, were tingling, and I was tingling all of my what am I doing? That's not me. Oh, I discovered that was one of my facets, that was me at the same time. But overcoming the fear to speak, it is a very powerful thing for all of us. And that's where we discover more about who we are, overcoming our fears. And sometimes that has to do with discovering and giving permission to be us, overcoming those fears, right?
Yeah, look, exactly right. I mean, absolutely. I remember also when I made an appearance in 2013 on a TEDx stage here in Sydney, Australia, as a French Canadian with my French accent and all the things. I was sweating and I was shaking and I was like, oh my God, there were like 500 people looking at me. I was like, what? Because, the traumas and the fears, they're locked in the body. That's where, in the nervous system, in the body. So I can totally relate. I understand completely. But it's by daring to be courageous, to face the fear, to feel the fear, but to do it anyways. Susan Jeffers, doctor, she died from cancer a few years back, but she's written a very famous book that I really, it's one of my Bibles. Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Dr. Susan Jeffers. She's an American. She died, but it's gold really, because that's what I mean. The fear, they don't disappear. We face them, we move through them, we sweat, we get red, we blush, but we move through it and we do it. But you know what? What I really see over and over again, and what I believe is, we are our worst enemy. Because often we fear the judgments and the critics and the rejections of other people coming from outside of us. But we are our worst enemy, because often we are the one who's the hardest judge and the hardest critic on ourselves. And it is simply projected by coming from outside of us, but it's a projection of what lives inside of us.
That is true. That is so true, because we judge ourselves so terrible. And to remove the judgment, it will be a balance in our lives in many ways if we stop judging others or ourselves. But you're this is so true, that when someone can tell you something about you and they're judging, you take it over. They're projecting, so you even reject it. But when we're doing it to ourselves, we don't say those things like, "Oh, I'm not gonna put attention." You actually put attention to that, to your judgment.
Correct. Yeah. So the practice, the evolution in the Voice Alchemist Academy, in the Voice Alchemist movement, in the work that I share with my amazing community, my amazing clients, with the world. It's the work that I actually practice on myself, that I embody myself, that I'm coming from a family where judgments, critics, fights, stress, negativity was 24/7, maybe not 24/7, but there was also love there, but it was pretty intense, like it was very, very intense. So to completely unlearn and reprogram, my nervous system and my mindset, and feeling safe enough, because it's the foundation. If you don't feel safe, you're not going to be courageous to go out there and share your voice and be on stage and be on podcast. You're not. You're going to sit in your pants and you're going to stay there frozen in your nervous system in fear. So first of all, for me, it was like I had a speech impediment. I had PTDS. I was suicidal. I tried to take my life at 14 years old. That's very young for a young woman to 14 years old. So I felt so unloved and unsafe inside myself. But when you look at me now, you feel my energy now. I'm not the same identity than I was at 14 years old. You know what I mean? But it's work in progress. It's work in progress. It's constant awareness and constant shifting. And yeah, it's like the snake. Last year was the year of the snake. The snake shedding the skin. It's painful. You're letting go of that skin. We used to be a certain way, and cracking up open, letting go of that skin and putting a new coat on, a new skin. It's transformation. That's what transformation is. And we don't do that alone. I had some amazing psychologists, coaches, healers, helpers in my life who has been, gold. Without them, I wouldn't be the woman I am now. I still have mentors and coaches, and I give a lot of support. I give so much. I'm such a giver, and my work is so amazing, so powerful. What I transformed is phenomenal in myself and in my clients. It's just, it's worth billions of dollars. It's pretty powerful magic and medicine. But yeah, you have to make that decision that you're going to learn to love yourself like no one has never loved you.
Yes.
You're going to choose to be yourself and being your own best friend, and support you like no one has never done that for you.
That is beautiful, because that's what we need to do. Because imagine if everybody loved themselves that much and accept who they are and transform whatever they don't like, we will have a very different world right now. That will be the ideal, but one at a time, right? One at a time.
Yeah.
And
yeah. It made me teary talking about it. It touches my whole heart. It is one at a time, and it starts with you. It starts with you. People in the audience, it starts with yourself. You are the change maker. You are the conscious leader. You are the person you want to fall in love with, like so much in love. Don't expect that a relationship is gonna save you or heal you. It's not. The love is in your own heart, and it's to have your own back, 1,000%, no matter what.
You're the savior that you've been looking for.
Correct.
Well, at what moment you can make this becoming magnetic and start attracting the life that actually you want? Because I know words are so important, and there's the magic that is in the words. So we say through our words that, oh, I'm never going to be happy, I'm never going to do this, or I'm never going to do that. And we're putting blocks into our own selves. But there's the good part. I'm going to achieve this, I'm going to arrive there, I'm going to have that, etc. So, but at what moment we can become magnetic and start attracting the life that actually we really want, and start attracting the clients for the healers and the coaches that are listening to right now, how they can become magnetic and start attracting that?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. Actually, we are magnetizing and attracting how we feel. How we feel about ourselves is what we give ourselves permission to attract, to magnetize into our physical reality. So every client you work with, they represent you. They are a reflection of you. So one of the most important practice to develop is to refine your communication, like your inner dialogue, how you communicate, how you talk to yourself. Mm-hmm. Louise Hay, as we know, Louise Hay, she was one of my mentors. I met her in person 3 times. Louise Hay, she was one of my mentors. I loved Louise Hay. She's very basic work that she's had the courage to put out there is, inner child, start to communicate with yourself kindly. Be kind. Again, we don't learn to be kind. I'm not talking about being nice, because for me there's a massive difference between the nice girl, the people pleaser, the be polite, the don't be too much, don't be enough, and this, that, the ass-licker, if I may say, which is my provocative language. There's a difference between being nice and being kind. But really to practice to be aware of what's going on between your 2 ears. How do you communicate? How do you talk to yourself? And how do you talk to your dog, to your cat, to your fish, to the birds? How do you talk to your neighbors? What words are you using? What tone of voice? Because when we're not kind, we feel shit, and when we feel shit, we attract more shit. And when you feel sexy, you feel powerful, you feel like a leopard, you feel like a panthera, and you're like, yeah. You know what I mean? When you feel juicy, you feel, well, you attract that. And so if you want to make sales, you want to make cash with your healing practice, with your coaching practice, with your transformational work, with your speaking business, keynote speakers, whatever it is that you want to sell in the world, how do you communicate? How do you invite people to your world? That's how you become magnetic when your inner world, because your outside world is a reflection of your inner world.
I agree with that. So I can imagine that you work with all these important points that they're so transformative for the being in the Academy of the Voice Alchemist, right?
Yes. Yes, 100%. 100%. Yeah, what you see, what you get. Unique Anick is here. What you see is what you get. I love to play. I love to have fun. I believe, Monica, we all creators. We all creative. We are creating in every breath, every moment, every choice. In every day we're creating. Whether we're creating dramas, or whether we're creating millions of dollars, or whether we're creating relationships, or whether we're creating nothing, we're creating. Even in our dream, even when we sleep, we're creating. We're constantly creating.
Yeah, that's
so there's a step-by-step process that I take people through. I use my voice tapping. Pardon me, I burp, so I get excited. My throat chakra is on fire here. So, voice tapping question. There's this step-by-step process I take people through, so that you can become someone who owns your creative power. So you know the direction you're taking and what you're creating, what your heart desire to create, to express in the world, to contribute, to share. You know?
so. When do you start the classes, or you have a group, or you work one-on-one, or do you have a class coming up?
Yeah, I have amazing programs. Oh my gosh, next level. Your voice truly matters. I've got your voice, tune into your frequency voice. I've got reclaim your own power. I've got amazing programs. I do also sessions, voice tapping sessions, voice activation sessions. I invite people to join my Facebook group, which is the Voice Alchemist group. So come there. I offer transmission every Monday morning here in Australia. So in America it'll be Sunday night. Live, but you can watch the replay. I've got a YouTube channel where I offer gold transmissions and activations. So I really invite you to tune in. Like Anick Patry, if you want to put my link tree there, join the Voice Alchemist on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube. I'm on TikTok, LinkedIn. So join. Your Voice Truly Matters is a 6-month container that will transform your life inside out, upside down. You will become that voice in the world, guarantee, or I give you back your money for sure. For sure. Yeah.
To connect with Anick, it is going to be in the description of this podcast. So like that, this episode, so like that you can contact her. When do you start? Do you have a new group starting soon, or how it works?
Yes, I have. At the moment, I have a one-on-one group offering, and I have a group starting. Reset is starting in next month in April. So it's all going to be in the Linktree link, so everyone can see that there. And I do have a podcast, a show, The Voice Alchemist, on YouTube as well. So I invite you to check that out. Absolutely, subscribe to my YouTube and join my Facebook group, The Voice Alchemist. Yeah. and check out the link tree for the offerings. So yeah, amazing work.
Thank you so much, Anick. This is so important that we need to put more attention to our voice. We are so used to by the industry of healers and coaches, etc., to do the inner work, but
Yeah,
without getting out what we need to speak out.
100%.
And it's not only inside; it's inside, it's an outside too. So
Yeah.
it's so important what you're doing.
Oh yeah, I love it. And your voice has sounding, like the modality I've channeled, I've received when I had a illness, a near-death experience. I've received that modality, voice tapping, is really to allow your voice to sound and release, liberate your voice, somatically liberating that. So the inner work is you've got to somatically liberate yourself. That's what Reset is all about. Reset, my program, is on Telegram. It's an audio program, and you really learn to recalibrate, realign your nervous system with liberating your own voice. It's super, super important. So there's a somatic part, which is like the sound, and I love singing, and I love kirtan, and I do sound healing. I love singing, and I love speaking. I love speaking, and I love singing. They're my two passions that I combine together in this transformational work that I share with the Voice Alchemists.
So I have a question. Do you do also light language in it, or light language it is totally separate from it?
The light language. I'm not teaching light language, but I would bring some light language every now and again in my transmission. Yes.
Because we're talking about the singing and so forth. So
yeah.
I don't know. It just occurred to me right now.
Yeah. I do channel light language 100%. So it'll come in the voice tapping. I'll receive the information, and it should come in sounds and light language, and reframing the limitations, the fear, into the new identity, the new fresh recoded belief. For sure. But it's always in the actions that we heal, that we transform, when we take action. So if you got a yes, you resonate with me, please sign up, join all the links, gift yourself a session with me to try it out, get my low-cost program Reset on Telegram. I mean, join my world, because it's in making a decision. It starts with number one, as I said before, you make the choice, and number two, you take action. You don't wait. You don't let your left brain kicking in and saying, oh my gosh, this, I don't want to spend money, or this, da-da-da. You don't want to go there. As soon as your intuition, your heart is like, oh, I'm a yes, or I'm a no, to really follow that, because it's in the action, in the decisions and the actions that we transform. That's where it starts.
And then I see that you are also an international bestseller author. What is the name of your book, so like that our viewers, if they want to check your book, what is the name of your book?
Yeah, the book is a multi-authored book. It's called Visionary. It was published in 2020, October 2020. And my story in the book is called Liberate Your Heart and Activate Your Inner Healer. So it's all that we've been talking about just now, really, about this inner transformation. So it's a beautiful, powerful transmission, super inspirational, and very, very potent transmission. So I highly recommend you get this book, Visionary. It's on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle, and the link is also in the link tree. I can send it to you, Monica, so you can share it. It's a really, really beautiful story.
Well, for all our viewers, I'm going to be posting all the information of Anick in the description of this episode, so like that you can contact her. And if you have any questions and you want to write it down in the comments, please do. and share with your friends. Maybe one of your friends wants to learn how to speak up, to actually talk finally for whatever they have to talk for, like that they can grow and expand. Because at the end, that's what we came for here.
Yeah, to come and join, to be interviewed on podcasts, to be on a stage, to free yourself, liberate yourself, being in your power, create what you desire to create, the business that you dream of, and the life that you dream of. Liberate your voice, and that's what all the tools you're learning, to be in your power, be on podcasts, be on stage, be on a TEDx talk, you know what I mean? Really empowering yourself to free your voice and live in your heart. That's where you want to live, your big booming heart.
I agree. So thank you so much, Anick. I really appreciate you for coming for the Soul Talk. And to all our viewers, thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a like. Thank you so much. This is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you, everyone.